Hey everybody, Chris here. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my July price prediction or outlook for July. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when new videos come out as well as when I do live streams. And we were talking on our last live stream about looking at price predictions for the next bull run and how I'm going to wait until the fall to start really looking at that in detail. But in this video, I'm going to give you one view of a potential high for the next bull run based on where Dogecoin is right now on the current dip here in the summer of 2026 bear market, all as predicted that we would have low prices. We start here with Dogecoin just below 7.25 cents, hugging the bottom of this red box, and this red box I created last week to sort of show a trading range in the short term where I thought Dogecoin would be trading. And we had over the weekend and into Monday, we had Dogecoin hugging sort of the bottom of this box. And it looks like here on June 30th, the last day of June, it looks like there's weakness and Doge is falling out of its little red box. Right here is the low so far of this cycle of 7.15 cents. And so the question is Dogecoin going to drop even lower in the month of July? We also have Bitcoin at 59,200. The low of this bear market cycle so far is when Bitcoin last week touched down at $58,000 on that dip there, that lower low, and then has sort of been up and down around the 60,000 mark, but is showing weakness again. And why is that weakness happening? Well, we start with the current news of the next round of U.S.-Iran talks. And the latest news that I've heard is that there's no talks. So again, it's on again, off again. Strait of Hormuz is open, it's closed. Oil prices go down, they go up. It's like a ping pong effect. Somebody's making money, shorting and longing and, hitting all of this news with trades right before the news happens. Someone's making the money. If you're an insider, you're making a lot of money on this cycle. But us retail traders, we're trying to make a little bit. And as I've said consistently in crypto, it's really more of a long-term game that you have to play because the short-term stuff is noise for us in retail, and we're just trying to find the best entry points right now. Some of you think that Dogecoin is dying and fading and it's going to zero, and there's some that believe Bitcoin and crypto is going to do that. There's always a risk there, but I'm playing the game of the 4-year cycles are still in play, and next cycle we're going to have a bull market and we're going to see higher prices. So I'm looking for the lows to buy in on with bigger amounts this summer. That's where I am waiting. So some are saying, look, right now, is Bitcoin actually at the bottom here in the upper 50s, and we're going to see this sort of immediate run. And this guy's comparing a June dip here with the November dip from 2022. This was the June dip back here. This was the June dip. Bitcoin actually recovered over the summer and then waited until November to have its biggest drop and the lowest price of 15,600 in 2022, which is why many of the crypto forecasters here on crypto Twitter and on YouTube as well are looking at October now as being the month where we're going to see the final capitulation and the lowest price, because they're betting on these so-called 4-year cycles, which is really like 3 years, 11 months. Now, I front run that with Dogecoin because I think Dogecoin will front run Bitcoin again on my 3.5-year cycle theory, which we talk about during my live streams. So join in on those. Throughout the summer, I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I throw in an extra live if something big is happening in the crypto market on one of those other days. And then once we get into the fall and prices are coming back up and we're in bull market, maybe I start streaming every day again. But for now, I don't think this is the play for Bitcoin. I still think this is going to bleed out sideways and we're going to have more dips, is what I think is going to happen. These are the ETFs. Remember when the Bitcoin ETF started and everyone was saying, oh, ETFs, institutional buying, this is going to be great for Bitcoin. Well, it was for a while. But now in the bear market, you're getting paper hands and you're getting the selling of the ETFs. These are not only retail buyers with paper hands, but they're also institutions because they don't like the price where Bitcoin is and they're selling for a loss. All of these ETFs, all of these sales, all of these people are selling for a loss. They bought for higher, they're selling for a loss. They're getting out of Bitcoin for various reasons and whatever they are, but it is leading to lower prices for the price of Bitcoin. So are the ETFs all that great? Well, Dogecoin has ETFs. There's been no outflows on the Dogecoin ETFs yet. Just some inflows, small amount, which I think will increase once the Dogecoin price starts going back up. The FOMO will be real and we will see prices going back up. So for Dogecoin, it looks like Dogecoin is finally approaching the point where its downward momentum is running out. Several technical signals indicate that Doge may be forming a local bottom near current levels following months of unrelenting selling pressure and a nearly continuous series of lower highs and lower lows. After going through one of the worst corrections of the current cycle, the meme crypto is currently trading at about 7.2 cents, with sellers retaining total control over the market. So that's where Dogecoin is now. The most recent price action, however, suggests that declines, the intensity may be lessening. The relative strength index, which we'll look at in a minute, is one of the most significant factors. The RSI is down about 21. Doge is firmly in oversold territory. In the past, any readings below 30 have been indicative of severe selling pressure. Oversold conditions frequently precede periods of stabilization or relief rallies. They do not themselves ensure a reversal. So Doge is trading well below its 50, its 100, 200-day moving averages. Those are all higher. And is Doge actually going to come back up? The 50-day moving average is around 8.3 cents. That will be the first obstacle facing bulls. The 100-day, 200-day, those are at 9.3 and 11 cents. Those are bigger barriers. Dogecoin is not in a position right now where it's going to start testing those. Maybe the 50-day if we get a bigger relief rally, but that's all I see right now. And this chart shows, again, comparing back to 2022 when Dogecoin dropped to 4.95 cents and went and oversold. On the RSI, we're seeing the same thing here. And this was June 2022, and so now this is June 2026, 4 years apart, we're seeing on the bottoms. So that appears to be playing out. I still think we could have a lower bottom, which I'll talk about in just a minute, because I don't think we're quite done yet here. I don't think this is like an immediate like V-shaped recovery like we saw in 2022. Bitcoin returns for the month of July. Now, June ends up being a bad month for Bitcoin, down 20%. Dogecoin ended up being down 27%. So I predicted a red month for June, and that did play out because, again, we've had now 10 straight Junes. We have had red months. I predicted red. It ended up going down further than I thought, but I was at least right on the red side. For July, every time in Bitcoin's past there has been a red June, there has been a green July. 2024, 2022, 2021, 2020, back here in 2018, and even in 2013. Every red June has been followed by a green July. So that is the outlook. Now that's not the same for Dogecoin. Mostly because Dogecoin had 10 red Junes in a row. So about half of them, there were also red July's. 2024 was only down 1.8%. 2021 down 16%. Again, that was coming off the big 500% run in April. So Doge was still cooling off then, but even 2019 down 13%. And then 2017 was a big pullback for Dogecoin. So what's Dogecoin going to do in July here? This is what we're here to talk about. Now, the outlook beginning the first week of July, I think is going to be something like this. Although I think it's going to tail down a little more and not up like this. And we're going to be fighting a new lower low for the first part of July, which is 7.15 cents. I do think we could see some movement like this, though, where we're going to capitulate on a dip sometime early July. This is what I've been targeting. I've been talking about this for months, and I think that there is this movement that is going to happen. And again, if we go back to my Dogecoin chart and we look back at when I ran my Fibonacci retracement here, the 1.618 was right here at 6.7 cents. So this is still my target. Now, might it only drop to 6.9? Maybe. That would be the prophecy from an Elon point of view, right? 6.9 would be like something, but we talk about this channel a lot about 6.7, and this is how this worked out. It just, the technical analysis said 6.7 cents. So that is still a target that I have, and I've got my white arrow out here, pointing to early July of having this kind of move. And I have my yellow box on my other chart here, which is pointing to this as well, of where I'm going to do a significant buy of Dogecoin. This is my plan, and this is what I'm looking at. So for monthly returns, I think after that drop, we're going to recover back into the sevens, and I think we're going to end up slightly in the green in the mid to upper sevens by the end of the month. That is my forecast for Dogecoin for July, having a green month, but we are going to see the low for this cycle. We can look at Coin Codex and we see something similar, kind of Doge just kind of bleeding out sideways, maybe up just a little bit. Maybe we touch 8 cents again. But overall, we're looking at still a very bearish position for Dogecoin as we would in 2026, the bear market of this cycle, as well as Changelly, which says the same thing. We're very bearish, and all indicators are they're not great. The indicators are not great for the current Dogecoin. Where Dogecoin is, particularly in relation to its moving averages. Dogecoin is well below the moving averages, and I think they're going to stay below those moving averages as well. And they're all pointing to sells because we're below all of those moving averages, and there's no excitement in Dogecoin, so everything is a sell. Now, I look at this as being a buying opportunity when there's blood in the streets, and on all these moving averages talking about Dogecoin being a sell position, I'm going to be a buyer. Again, this is my forward-looking thinking of an outlook, though. And as we talked about during the live stream on Monday, analysts reveal why Dogecoin price may hit its bottom in July. This is where I am as well, although I am keeping some cash on the side for August and September in case there's some further capitulation that happens within crypto through the rest of the summer. I'm not going to buy everything, but I'm going to buy a significant amount. We'll see what that ends up being. And of course, in this article, not only is analyst Crypto GVR quoted, but analyst Chris Pax as well. Yes, that's me. Shares the same outlook, Dogecoin price, on the drop that we're going to have coming in July. A range somewhere between 6 cents and 8 cents. I believe we're still going to be trading in that range in the month of July. And that is my outlook for for July going forward. I know it's negative right now. It's bearish. Things aren't looking great on the Dogecoin chart right now. I get it. But this was all forecast. This was all predicted. And Dogecoin, along with most of the rest of the crypto market, is playing out the same way. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about your July outlook for Dogecoin? And oh yes, the little special thing was, where could Dogecoin go in the next bull cycle? And we look back at 2022 at the bottom, and then we look at December 2024, where Dogecoin went up to, well, he's got 43 cents. We actually topped out at 48. He doesn't have that wick up to 48 on his. So we'll use 43. That's fine. 43. That's 880% from the very bottom of 2022 to the top of early 2024. If we do that again, from the bottom of where we are right now, 7.15, where would the top be? It'd be 63 cents. 63 cents would be the top of the next bull cycle. And I know you guys are saying, oh, that's so low. Many people would love to see 63 cent Doge. I get it. It might not be the full 100x that you want for Dogecoin. I get that. But 63 cents is a pretty good return. It's a pretty good return. It's almost 10x. And if you can get a 10x, you know, it's 8.5x, but you get a 10x, it goes up a little bit more. That's a pretty good return if you're buying down here in the lows. So that's my outlook. Again, always give the video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.